Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be here with you today, and in particular amongst so many dignitaries from the world of medicine. It's a bit like Holby City on steroids, isn't it, today? It's really good. I'm here to share with you my story, a story that is statistically rare, yet conversely not unique. I'm going to ask you all to firstly join me as we, metaphorically speaking, hitch a ride back to 1993. The UK government is battling rising national debt and unemployment as its popularity reaches record lows. The royal family is nestled deep in controversy with the announcement of Prince Charles and Princess Diana's separation. And a TV ad campaign is calling on us to turn our heating down by 1 degree to slow global warming and save energy. Not much change, is it? Rather scarily and disturbingly at that time, Mr. Blobby was gracing the UK charts as the country's festive number one. You remember him? And a 15-year-old me was led rather uncomfortably in a CT scanner at my local hospital. It was Christmas Eve. For the past 3 years, I'd been experiencing numerous problems. Puberty had stopped seemingly no sooner than it had begun. My height, after being the tallest in my year for so long, idled at a lowly 5'5". Headaches, problems with my balance, field of vision disruption, and a disproportionately large waistline had all led to my horizontal date with a giant spinning polo. 2 days later, my parents received a phone call asking them to bring me to the University Hospital of Wales in Cardiff. After a further MRI, doctors broke the news. I had a craniopharyngioma. A long word, I know, and disappointingly only scores 27 in Scrabble, so it hasn't even got that bonus to it. I would have been one of only 30 children diagnosed with the tumour that year. A few weeks later, I underwent surgery to fit an Omea reservoir, which was used to drain the cystic part of the tumour. At that stage, the mass had only stopped my production of thyroxine, testosterone and growth hormone. After a relatively stable 3 years, I started suffering with headaches and poor field of vision. A scan showed the cystic part had grown again. Due to the number of years since my first operation, the existing Omea reservoir was blocked, so surgeons fitted a second one. In the 3 years that followed, the tumour needed to be aspirated regularly, around every 3 months. By the year 2000, my headaches and field of vision had deteriorated significantly, and in the August of that year, I suffered a series of fits. An MRI revealed both the cystic and solid part of the tumour had grown significantly. In 2001, I underwent stereotactic radiotherapy at the Royal Marsden, here in London. The treatment was successful in terms of shrinking the tumour, though my production of cortisol was affected, so I now take that replacement as well. The tumour hasn't grown since. It currently measures 2.2 centimetres by 1.8 centimetre, extending through the suprasellar system to the hypothalamus. The pituitary gland is atrophic with a partially empty cella. For the purpose of NHS data, I'm cured. Or am I? With brain tumours, we talk about survival rates. But what is the definition of survival? And is there a difference between survival and surviving? Can we really say that a person is cured if they are left in a state where they merely exist every day, surviving? Do we place enough emphasis on quality of life? Is it richer to have lived a shorter life, but one which is void of a disability and affliction? I have suffered more problems with the tumour being in what is classed as a stable state than I ever did when it was growing. Since I underwent stereotactic radiotherapy, I've developed a progressively worsening array of symptoms that have gone on to dramatically affect my life. Every day, I battle fatigue, memory problems, depression and anxiety, shifting emotional states and crippling insomnia. I overheat easily, and I struggle with my weight and urinate hesitancy. All of these problems can be traced back to damage to the hypothalamus, something doctors say was caused by a mixture of the tumour itself and the treatments I've undergone. I also suffer with binocular diplopia, a consequence of damage to some of the nerves that support the eye. In the summer of 2023, it all became too much, and I've been on sick leave ever since. Speaking candidly, I've evolved, or should that be regressed, to become half the husband I once was to my wife, and half the father I was to my children. That is a deeply, deeply painful truth to say and admit. Yet it feels like there is no hope. In the 20 plus years, that I've suffered the intensifying symptoms of hypothalamic damage, it has fallen on deaf ears amongst the endocrinologists and neurosurgeons I've seen within the Welsh NHS. No support, no treatment. I long for that to change for the sake of children that are diagnosed with this tumour today. Living with the many hormones we have to replace as craniopharyngioma survivors can be equally as challenging. The human body is nuanced, its chemistry effortlessly adapting and evolving to the many environments we experience externally every day. How you wake, breathe, eat, drink, think and sleep, all meticulously governed by an intricate network of signals and chemicals. Many of these nuances don't exist for craniopharyngioma sufferers. The subtleties have been robbed and replaced with parameters and guesswork. We clunkily replicate what the pituitary gland does, hormones given in dosages aligned to indicative sampling, not to the precisions of your own unique biology. Take hydrocortisone replacement, which can sometimes feel a little bit like licking one's finger and putting it in the air. We take a tablet in the morning and further doses in the afternoon. Yet the body's production of cortisol is way more sophisticated than this, and even more so when we are ill, fighting infections long before we display symptoms. Yet for craniopharyngioma sufferers, we merely double dose when we start feeling the effects of being unwell. Our immune system's playing catch up. Now for the provocative bit, and I understand this is controversial, but please bear with me, it's from the heart. I am jealous of cancer. It's a controversial statement, I know, and I do not mean to offend by it. But equally, I'm not here to sugarcoat the reality for people like me. You see, cancer is a box office smash. Think of it like Jurassic Park or Star Wars. A huge hit when it comes to generating interest, finance, and consensus of opinion. Craniopharyngiomas, well, they're a bit like Rocky V or Cats. A box office flop. Stimulating in comparison very little interest and very little money. Yet the impact of this tumour is just as huge as cancer, and its effects on long-term quality of life even more punishing and unforgiving. You see, craniopharyngiomas are a terrible paradox. They hide gleefully behind the misconception they are benign. On a cellular basis, maybe. But we are judged by our actions, and this tumour's actions are nasty and unrelenting. What is stronger is my determination. I'm determined that this isn't what the rest of my life looks like. I am determined it won't be like that for kids newly diagnosed with craniopharyngiomas. I am determined to inspire more endocrinologists to be intrigued by the hypothalamus and excited at the thoughts of improving outcomes for those inflicted by damage to it. I am determined to see Welsh rugby drag itself from the basin of the Six Nations and to grandstand glory again. Unfortunately, that last one might be one too hard, but for the rest, I'm going to give it a go. Thank you.